start a little early because I feel like I'm gonna have to pull over to a gas station and, relieve myself soon. So, not soon, but anyway, y'all needing to hear about that. Give y'all a minute to get up in here. It is Monday morning, September. What the fuck am I talking about? July 21st. My watch is dead. No, July 22nd. July 22nd. It is Monday morning, July 22nd, 2024. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. It's your boy Tyrus Bane, Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition. AKA Snap Turtle, aka Tyrus Bane. This is Freedom's March. Welcome, freedom fighters, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. I think I said that twice, but it is what it is. Mr. Duke. Good morning to you, Mr. Duke. I think this is my first time seeing you on my channel. So, I gotta tell you, man, the Amazing Lucath. Listen, talk about shilling, right? Talk about shit. I don't understand this. But we're gonna get into it. So, a lot of interesting things happened this weekend in the world of politics. One thing in particular is that Joe Biden, decided to pull out of the presidential race for 2024. So he will no longer be running for president, and he's going to focus on finishing his term, and then he endorses Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, whatever you want to call it. And he didn't when he told us that he was pulling out, he did not endorse Kamala Harris right away, right? And so what he did do though is a little bit later on he said that he endorses and supports Kamala Harris to run in his place, to be the Democratic candidate, the candidate for the Democrats, right? So he endorses her, and of course they still have to have the Democratic National Convention thingy where they're going to actually decide who the candidate is. And she received his endorsement, Joe Biden's endorsement. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of scuttlebutt out there in the world in regards to why he endorsed her, and a lot of it has to do with these black women groups that they're saying pushed him to put Kamala on the ticket in the first place in 2020. 2020. So basically, he was pressured by black female groups, essentially, to put Kamala Harris on the ticket and to put Ketanji Jackson Brown, or whatever her name is, in the Supreme Court. Now, those of you who know me know that I don't believe in this left-right paradigm bullshit. To me, all this is a game. To me, all this is a dog and pony show to give the illusion that democracy is in full swing, that we have a say in who controls us, basically who has the power, who is the leader of the free world, because that is ostensibly what the United States president is, right? The president of the United States is typically seen as the leader of the free world. As the United States moves, so does the rest of the world. Everything hinges on what we do here in the United States, blah, 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 blah. And, y'all know me. If y'all know me, you know that I don't believe in this left-right paradigm bullshit, right? This is the thing. Kamala Harris is not going to become president. Not going to become president. of the United States in 2024. No, it's going to be Donald Trump. This is pretty much solidified, and this is what the Democrats understand. Now, what I'm saying right now is, think of me as being someone who is a statist and believes in the left-right paradigm lie, right? So that's how I'm speaking to you now. But at the end of the day, I am an anarchist, and I'm not even a libertarian, because libertarians are kind of, they don't know what the fuck they want, right? But I am an anarchist, and I do believe this is all bullshit, and I don't understand why we continue to hitch our wagons to these people, to these elitists who use us and who thirst for power, because that's all they really do, and don't really represent us as they say they do. They don't represent us. They can't. Again, I told you guys, you cannot represent 50,000 people. You cannot represent the needs of 50,000 people, let alone 350 million. Right? And presidents aren't essentially there to represent anyone. They are executives. They are there strictly to enforce laws and all that good stuff. So the president is the ultimate executive, right? He's the ultimate police chief. He's the ultimate general, basically. So anything that falls under the purview of the executive branch, that's what they do. But again, they can't. Oh my God, man! They can't enforce the laws for everybody to follow. Y'all get what I'm saying? But if I were a left-right paradigm believer, and if I were a statist, I would probably be a conservative myself, a black conservative, but not the typical black conservative, because I'm not a fucking coon. And you don't have to be a coon to be a conservative. A conservative is, y'all know what a conservative really is. But anyway, this fool, the Amazing Lucath, the Amazing Clownshoe, did a live stream where the title said something like, Kamala Harris for president, the last hope for black people in America. Now, understand, the Amazing Lucath, the Amazing Clownshoe, is somebody who says he's not a statist, right? He's someone who says he isn't a statist. He's someone who says that he's an independent. You can't be an independent and a statist. An independent is a political party. Political parties believe in government rule. You cannot proclaim yourself to be someone who isn't a statist and also believe in government rulership. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Doesn't make any like, a statist is not just relegated to someone who likes the police. That's not what a statist is. Statists are people who believe in government rule, right? No matter what kind of government it is, if you believe in any government rulership, you're a statist. So this fool, the Clownshoe Lucath, did a live stream. Now, I didn't watch the live stream, mind you, and I don't watch any of his content anymore, right? I just don't watch it because it's just annoying as fuck. He's annoying as shit, real talk. And I don't hate watch, right? I do try to watch other people's content that I don't believe in, that I don't agree with, just to gain some perspective, to understand how the other side thinks, right? But it's hard when that person is an annoying douchebag who is a contradiction in terms and is a walking contradictory douchebag, right? So it's hard for me to watch that content, so I just don't. But I will take the titles, and I will kind of try to extrapolate from there what he's referring to and what he's talking about. But in this regard, he's talking about Kamala is the last black hope in America for black people, which doesn't make any fucking sense, right? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to say that Kamala Harris, of all people, Kamala Harris, who was a U.S. attorney in California. She was the attorney general, whatever the fuck you call them people. The head attorney general, basically the head prosecutor in California. the shit that she did to trump up charges on black people, right? There is scandal after scandal after scandal involving Kamala Harris in the state of California when she was Attorney General, where she held a black man for longer than his sentence to hide the fact that he shouldn't have been in there in the first place. Kamala Harris is a piece of shit. Kamala Harris locked black folks up for marijuana usage, right? She was not a champion of marijuana legality, or legalizing marijuana and all this, that, and the third. Kamala has not done shit for black people. What has she done for black people? What kind of track record can you point to for Kamala Harris to say that, oh yeah, that chick right there, oh yeah, she's pro-black, yeah, she's gonna take care of black people? Where are we getting this from? Like I said, I did not watch his live stream where he said this, but I'm just trying to understand, like, what could he say to justify this nonsense? This nonsense of him saying that Kamala Harris is the last hope for black people in America. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? What has Kamala has expressly come out when they got elected, Joe Biden and Kamala got elected in 2020. She came out and said specifically that she was not going to do shit for black people. She's not going to do anything that's going to benefit black people specifically. Right? She said that when they asked her about reparations. She said, you know what, we're going to do this, that, and the third, tax breaks and all that other shit. Well, the tax breaks, that doesn't just benefit black people. That's going to benefit everybody. She said, well, I'm not going to do anything that's going to just benefit black people. What kind of shit does that make? That don't make no sense. She basically told you that she ain't going to do shit for black people. She told you that. So, like, what? But we're looking to her as the last hope for black Americans? Like, what are you talking about? Like, where is he getting this from? Right? This is complete idiocracy. He wants to talk about idiocracy. He likes to bring that up. No, motherfucker. You are the king of the land of idiocracy. And anybody that he convinces that Kamala Harris is good for black people, well, you just as dumb as he is. I'm sorry to say it. If you are in alignment with Lucas, with the Amazing Lucath, Edwin, whatever the fuck your name is, Edwin Tinhead Lucas, right? With the greasy hat. That's ad hominem, whatever. But what has Kamala Harris hasn't demonstrated that she's gonna do shit for black people at all, right? As a matter of fact, let me tell you who Kamala Harris is the last hope for. Let's really get into that. And do me a favor, y'all, hit the like button when y'all get up in here, and share the video. Share this live stream, please, because I can help people understand who Kamala is actually the last hope for. Let me tell y'all who Kamala Harris is actually the last hope for. Kamala Harris is the last hope for illegal immigrants. That's who she's the last hope for. She is the last hope of the Great Replacement Plan, right? Because understand that these immigrants are here not just to replace white folks, conservative white people. No. They're here to replace black people. They want to make us the minority by making immigrants the majority minority, right? And look, immigrants, they consist of a lot of different cultures and creeds and races, right? It's a lot of Chinese. Understand that. A lot of these immigrants are Chinese. A lot of these immigrants are African. A lot of these immigrants are Hispanic and all these different races that don't give a shit about black folk. They are not going to stand in solidarity with black folks when they get here and when they get their little visas and all. And understand, Donald Trump also wants to give visas to college graduates. But that's a whole nother story. So neither one of these people are going to do shit for black people. But to say that Kamala Harris is the last hope for black people, I would say Donald Trump is actually more of a hope for black people than Kamala Harris, if I were going to believe in the left-right paradigm lie. Because when he was president, he was putting together this prison reform that, and he pardoned quite a bit of black people. You understand what I'm saying? So what has Kamala Harris encouraged that in Joe Biden? Has she said, let's pardon some black folks? Let's look into prison reform. And not just that, let's look into law enforcement in general and the justice system, because a lot of black people get locked up for shit they ain't do. Over 70% of exonerees in the United States are black. They are black. And so, you know, what are we talking about here? But they have done nothing to look into that. They haven't looked at it and said, why? Well, no one has really. Why is 75% of exonerees black? What's going on here? What's going on with our justice system? What's going on with with law enforcement? Well, what can we do to take care of that? What can we remove qualified immunity to ensure that ensure that the police aren't just willy-nilly just doing what the fuck they want to do, that they're actually following their own laws and doing things the right way? No. None of that. Kamala Harris ain't doing that shit. You know, the Clownshoe Lucath likes to act like he is a proponent of police reform. But what has Kamala Harris done to encourage police reform in regards to how they treat black people and all this other shit? What has Kamala Harris done to mitigate the gerrymandering that's going on all over the place? Gerrymandering, redlining, which is illegal, right? South Carolina just the courts in South Carolina just legalized it. What has Joe Biden done to say, you know what, you're not supposed to do that? Has Kamala encouraged Joe Biden to do anything and look into that? What are we talking about? What has Kamala Harris done for black folks? What the only hope, you know what the hope is for black people? You know who the hope is? Black people themselves, the individual. The only hope you have as any individual, any human being, whether you black, white, orange, whatever, you are your own hope. No one is going to save you. You understand what I'm saying? No one is going to save you. No one's going to protect you like you are. No one's going to ensure that you have the things that you need like you are. As an individual, as a family, as a tribe. That's why I believe societies should not, societies that operate within themselves, that the system of a society should not reach past a village, should not reach past a small community. Because once you go beyond that, and once you start putting people in place that are meant to, essentially control large groups of people, once you go to multiple communities and multiple villages and once you start placing people in charge of such large groups of people, then you start getting into this power-hungry bullshit. So, and as a matter of fact, what does Kamala know about the needs of black people in America? First of all, she is a first-generation American in her family. Like both of her parents are immigrants. You understand? Both of her parents are immigrants. She is the first generation to be a United States citizen, a born citizen. And secondly, she's not foundational black American, right? I believe you need at least 4-5 generations to be foundational black American, like my family. right? My family goes all the way back to old Mississippi on both sides. You know what I'm saying? My mom's dad and my dad, they both go back to Mississippi. You know, back to Native American tribes. I have indigenous blood in my system. I have indigenous blood in my system. Black indigenous. But that's a whole nother story, because guess what? We were here before the Europeans showed up, right? We were here. We coexisted with the Mongoloid indigenous folks. You know what I'm saying? The Negroid and the Mongoloid indigenous. They coexisted. They you know what I'm saying? The oldest skull, right, is that of a Negroid skull that was found in South America. So, you know, whatever they want to tell you about whatever, it's bullshit, right? Look at the Olmecs. But that's listen. I'm not gonna get into that. What I'm gonna get into is Kamala Harris don't know shit about the need of black people. Obama didn't know anything about the needs of black people as a whole. No one knows the needs of any group as a whole, because it's impossible. Not one person can represent the needs of a large group of people. They can't. Not millions, not tens of thousands, right? Maybe hundreds, maybe even maybe the low thousands, if that. But the more people you group together, the more difficult it is to represent the individual needs of those people. No one person, no 10 people, not even 530 something motherfucking Congress people from the House and the Senate can represent the needs of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people. It's impossible. So with that in mind, it's easy to fall into representing the needs of organizations, right? Organizations, corporations, special interest groups. Because special interest groups, organizations, they all have one mission statement. They all have the same agenda. So you're not even representing the people that form those organizations. You're representing the organization itself. So even then, you're not representing the people within that organization. You're representing the organization, because guess what? Anybody that belongs to that organization has to be in line with the mission statement of that organization. And that's what it's about. The United States is a corporation, right? So if the United States is a corporation, then the people, the elites that call themselves representatives, that call themselves Congress people, executives, judges, all these different people that form this government, they represent the corporation that is the United States. And anybody that belongs to that corporation in the United States, like you and me, right? Guess what? It automatically assumes that we also will serve the needs of the corporation, right? Because we belong to it. And if we don't, guess what? We get removed from it. What happens when you work for a company and you don't do what the hell they tell you to do? Or you do your own thing? You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't benefit the corporation or the company, they get rid of you. They ostracize you. They lock you up, right? So where you might work for a large company and you don't go in line, if you don't fall in line with the mission statement of that company and the cultures and the customs, then they'll fire you. They'll lay you off. But in the United States corporation, what they do is, well, they lock you up, right? If you don't fall in line, if you don't follow the laws, if you don't serve the best interest of the corporation, well, then they cut you off, right? They cut you off. So what does that sound like? A government that's for the people, by the people? Or does that sound like a government that is a corporation that consists of people that serves its needs? Well, guess what? If you do anything for black people that goes against the mission statement of that corporation, that is the United States, then guess what? You asked out. So Kamala Harris cannot be the last hope. She cannot be any hope for black folks in the United States, because that goes against the interest of the corporation. She can't go against the interest of the corporation and be president. But anyway, y'all, that's all I got for now. I got to pull over and hit the head. So, y'all stay up. Just think about what I said. Clownshoe Lucath is off his rocker, but he knows better. He knows better. He's shilling for whatever reason, but that is for y'all to determine, right? I'm just presenting you with my thoughts about what he said. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe, and I might get back on here a little later, and we're gonna keep marching forward.